19F. Think it's weird that my boyfriend, 22M, talks to a minor, is it? My boyfriend and I started dating more than 6 months ago and he is very romantic and sweet. For some background, he attends a service military academy. And during his summer training he and a few of his classmates were sent to a STEM military camp to be camp counselors and mentors to the high schoolers who are interested in engineering jobs in the military after high school. I will admit I already have trust issues that I try to keep to a limit. I had noticed he began following the kids from his camp squad after the camp was over. I did not think anything of this until I noticed this one 16-year-old girl had commented, "cool," on several of his Instagram posts. I thought this was odd, but maybe it's just a harmless crush. I went to her Instagram account and found her spam account that followed my boyfriend, but my boyfriend did not follow it back, but he had liked all of the pictures. I thought this was weird. I also noticed they followed each other on TikTok and chatted on Snapchat. I asked him about it and he said, she is interested in the academy I go to and is asking about what it's like and tips to get in. I asked, wouldn't it be more appropriate to maybe email with her instead since she is only 16? I don't think that's something you should do since you go to a strict school and represent the military, and he said, it's fine. I also noticed on her TikTok there were recent posts that said things like, older men are my type. And then this really niche thing. I can't wait to marry a Marine infantry officer. This is niche because my boyfriend always talks about how that's his dream service selection after he finishes school. I don't want to make him feel weird, but I think it's odd because what on earth does a 22-year-old man have in common with a 16-year-old girl? My friends think it is really weird and say I should break up with him. But I don't think they like him in the first place. I don't know what to do. Update. These comments confirmed what I was scared to face. My boyfriend is a creep and I immediately ended it over text. I didn't want to do it in person and be called crazy and manipulated. So I told him and he basically said, okay, he sees nothing wrong in his actions and I think it's because that's just who he is as a person, a creep. I myself am thinking of enlisting in the military and the Navy, the same branch as him, is my top choice. I no way in hell want an officer like him, one who does not maintain professional boundaries and talks to minors in charge of me and my future fellow sailors. I emailed his school and reported him. Yeah, it's weird, especially since he's clearly not upholding clear boundaries with her. This guy sounds like a creep. It is absolutely inappropriate for him to be liking spam posts and Snapchatting a 16-year-old. TBH, anybody that is 22 and can't find somebody closer in age to date than 19, and maybe 18 when you started dating, is a red flag to begin with. It's not always, but when you see that he clearly has a pattern of interacting with young girls, it seems to fit the bill here. I'd get out before you commit too much of your time as a young person to somebody like that. Tell him that shit is weird as hell. She's a child person facepalming light skin tone. It's weird, kind's creepy. If I found my 16-years-old talking to a 22-years-old man, I would lose my ish. He shouldn't be allowing her into his private life. Even if he thinks I'd harmless, she may not and could make his life hell if he turns her down. He shouldn't be following her or letting her follow him. It's creepy. It's as weird as it sounds. No adult should be privately messaging with minors, unless they're family members. That's very strange and odd of him to do so, especially since he doesn't follow that spam account. He might know that would look weird, but is still liking the stuff because it's less obvious. As a mentor to younger people, you shouldn't be stepping outside of your area of focus and doing the things that aren't required by your job. They aren't required for a reason. Talk to him about how weird it looks and how uncomfortable it is, and how having private relations with a minor like that is strange, and if found out by his superiors, it could look bad. My 33 female husband, 35 male, keeps throwing tantrums over a game. How do I stop it? My husband and I have been married for 7 years now and we have 2 small children, 6 male, 4 female. Our relationship has been rocky for a few years now, but this new issue has only been happening for the last few months and I'm growing more concerned and frustrated as time passes. He plays a game on his phone and every time someone cheats or he loses and he feels like it was an unfair match on his part, he will throw a fit. I am talking he will use slurs like F at Ggot, red at ards, or other vulgar words like cocksucker, bitch boys, etc. I know that is comical to some, but he will also go on to threaten these people or he wishes they would die in very graphic terms like slitting their throats or getting hit by a train or hopes they get raped. It's all very disturbing and usually it's around our kids and they causes an argument to break out. All that on its own isn't the reason for this post. He started stomping around, hitting and punching the walls, or throwing his phone. He's broken one phone already and the new one is cracked. And while he's never hit me or the kids, I'm afraid of what this will escalate to. I need a direction to go with this and I'm at a loss. What should my next move be? What should my next move be? Your next move should be out. He is abusive and your next move should be to immediately get your kids somewhere safe and begin the divorce process. His anger is escalating and whether or not he eventually hits you or the kids is irrelevant. He is already doing damage to their developing brains. Document all instances of physical rage and be prepared to fight for full custody. This behavior only gets worse, not better. This is abuse. Your poor kids must be terrified. You have to get them out of the house. You don't have the right to expose them to this. If you live in a one-person consent recording state, record this for a judge to see in the future. Get an attorney. Get those kids out of there. You need to draw a hard boundary on this. You can't control his behavior, but you can refuse to be around it or sit idly by while your children are. They're going to mirror this behavior if they aren't already. I'm not okay with the screaming temper tantrums over your game. I need you to not do that around me or the kids, and if you can't honor that, I'll need to remove myself and the kids. Your next move should be secure all your important documents and important belongings, and move out. Is there a family member that could house you? Throwing items or punching the walls is physical violence. Please read this free book, it's explained here. This is ultra disturbing, and especially that he is doing it in front of your children. You have to remove them from this situation or they're going to see that his behavior is okay and may eventually emulate it. If he isn't willing to go to therapy or give up the game immediately, you have to remove the kids from the house. My M28 girlfriend, F24, wants yo be a stay-at-home wife. Could I change her mind? We have been dating a year. She makes double what I do ATM, has a good but very demanding job but wants me to have a better one, and I know I will progress my career. This is so she can focus on being pretty, gym, yoga, cleaning, cooking. Basically a trophy wife, her words. We have no kids ATM, if the relationships progresses we may try, and she would be happy being a stay-at-home mom, but wants to be a homemaker either way. I feel old saying this, but in this economy I don't think that's a great plan for our future. She earns a lot and wants to continue her lifestyle. I can probably get a job getting as much or more in a couple years, but still. I believe she isn't over her last breakup, where her ex is a narcissist that promised the world to her, including this type of life. She believed him and tells me why I can't say the same. I believe she is just being naive. She says this could be a big deal breaker. I want her to be happy but I believe a marriage is a partnership. Please be kind about her, I want to understand her. She is no lazybones, she is a hard worker but stress eat her up constantly at her job. Edit. As I have said in the comments, this is an issue for the future, not right now. She wants to know our compatibility. Which as it seems it will be an important issue. Edit. I am aware of the red flags, we may not work out, please stop insulting her, she has the politeness of saying it now where we are getting serious rather than years later. You two want extremely different things from your partners, this relationship isn't going to work out in the long run with one or the both of you resenting the other. Your relationship will not last. Unfortunately, you are the rebound BF. She wants a different type of guy. That doesn't mean you're a bad guy, just different. Don't wreck your emotional stability over this woman. Move on. It will not work out. She believed him and tells me why I can't say the same. Because he was lying to get you dependent on him and I'm treating you like an adult who can read a budget. Why are you with someone who isn't over their ex? This is not a relationship that's gonna last. Maybe the best starting point here is to look at finances. Set out what you currently earn, spend as a couple. Talk about what you want to work towards. Are you saving for a house deposit, travel, etc.? If you have a fact-based conversation about it, rather than an emotionally charged one, you might get somewhere rather than fighting about it. Another thing that you should factor into the conversation is what happens if things go wrong. A year isn't long to have been together and for her to be completely financially reliant on you. She could find herself in a position where she wants to leave you but can't afford it. She wants a sugar daddy that's not you as you want a partner, not a dependent. You're incompatible. Don't force something that's not working for either of you. Confused about my marriage, is it over? 39F and 39M. We are both 39, we have been happily together for 20 years. We have 2 kids 10 and 6. I was completely sure that we are soulmates, near perfect couple and our life also is pretty good. Wife stood up to me one day and told me that she is not happy about nothing, not me, not her life, not our vacation etc. She has lost any ways to get happy. She opened up even about suicidal thoughts have been on her mind. I felt that she have been burned out, because she is full-time mom, both our kids were born with medical difficulties, she is organizing house and taking kids to therapy etc. I work 9/17, and am together with family as much as I can. I have been always supporting of everything she does, try to motivate to go out with friends etc. Every weekend we are going on trips, having quality family time. I feel that right now she is completely turned off by mostly everything I do. I'm trying to do everything I can do, much more house chores, help with kids more, but I have no support from her, no love, no nothing. I feel like we have a wall between us, but I don't feel that it is my fault in any way. How can we get over this? We both go to individually to therapist. I have suggested we go also to couples counseling and similar stuff. It's a hard no. For the last weeks all small stuff results in raged conflicts. I don't know what to do. When I try to speak about my feelings, she says it is about her, not me. So I need to keep it to myself. Any ideas? I feel the more I try the more she pushes me away. It hurts like hell. Now you're the one who needs to set the ultimatum. You will not walk on eggshells. If that means changing therapists or going to a more aggressive psychiatric road, then that's what needs to happen. If she is talking about suicide, you may have to call a doctor and ask about inpatient treatment. Unfortunately, it sounds like she's already made up her mind. You really need to talk to a lawyer. Ask her if she's okay with going to couple therapy? Or be in therapy in general. Just a guess. She went from being happy and carefree to being the primary caregiver for 2 children with medical issues. 2 kids needing therapy and extra care. I can't imagine the stress, and along with that comes the identity of mom of 6 kids, wife of X, and not much of a self-identity. She clearly sounds depressed. That in no way means she doesn't love your kids. Being a caregiver is hard and lonely and exhausting. I'm sorry she won't go couples counseling because you could work together to find a solution, even though she sees it solely as her issue. I can see why she feels hopeless, and it's not about you. Sounds like you guys gotta go to counseling. It sounds as though she has ended the marriage. Better see a family lawyer to sort things out. Show that you have been reasonable and keep notes, just in case. Was the change anything to do with a night out? She may have seen an old flame?